So, you're curious about what we've been up to recently. Well, to say it's been an adventure of game-breaking proportions would be selling it short. So, we want to walk you through the Twin Peaks pillars that are essential to our brand and drive all of our marketing initiatives. Twin Peaks Girls. The Twin Peaks all-female wait staff is considered the beautiful face of our brand. They represent the gold standard for the industry and are prominently featured in everything we do, from social media to Miss Twin Peaks. When guests think of Twin Peaks, the first thing that comes to mind is our friendly, attractive, and attentive Twin Peaks Girls. 29 Degree Draft Beer. The most unique and marketable aspect of the Twin Peaks brand is something every man can appreciate. Our signature 29 Degree Draft Beer. A claim no other restaurant can make. Served in perfectly frosted man-sized mugs, our rotating selection of fan favorites and in-house brews are the guest's trusted companion in victory or defeat. The Lodge environment. It's no secret that when anyone visits a Twin Peaks restaurant, they're immediately transported to an environment reminiscent of the comfortable cabin in the mountains. With natural wood tones and tasteful taxidermy, guests feel the familiar warmth any lumberjack would expect when walking into their local lodge. Our Scratch Kitchen. Twin Peaks never bunts when it comes to our menu. Whether you're strapped for time and just need to satisfy your hunger with a quickie lunch, looking for a happy hour cocktail, or a delicious, fulfilling dinner, our guests can expect made-from-scratch menu items. The Twin Peaks Kitchen not only sets the standard for scratch food, but also makes innovation a priority. Our consistent innovations like the Smoker program are constantly pushing the culinary limits and are capable of satisfying the voracious appetite of any Axeman. Sports. Twin Peaks may be unique in its environment, but we have always been the go-to game day destination for every fan. Because when it comes to sports, there is no substitute. Our customers come to Twin Peaks for many reasons, and the ability to see several giant screens exclusively dedicated to sports from any seat is second to none. We are always looking to create new, exciting, and rewarding experiences for the guests who choose to watch the game with us. These brand pillars led us to the Lodge mentality, a strategic brand campaign to remind every lumberjack, myself included, that Twin Peaks is more than just a sports lodge. It is the neighborhood destination where anyone can unapologetically indulge in all of their manly pursuits. Moving forward, we know that the Twin Peaks vision is to be a billion-dollar global brand with a cult-like following by the year 2029. Well, it is our goal to do everything in our power to continue elevating and strengthening the brand in order to achieve this vision. We want to inspire that inner lumberjack within everyone, from our internal teams to our guests, to embrace the Lodge mentality. We will not stop, we will not fail, and we will not falter.
Hi, that was an exciting video, wasn't it? Welcome to the Twin Peaks brand. My name is Ray Bodner. I'm the Senior Vice President of Global Franchise Sales and Development, and I'm excited to spend a few minutes with you today to talk about our brand, our exciting growth, and where we're headed in the future. You know, Twin Peaks is a brand that was founded, as you can see, in 2005. There were a few acquisitions in the last 3 or 4 years, taking advantage of our success, and have some exciting news here recently. Actually, just 2 days ago, we announced we're going to do an IPO, initial public offering, here in the next 6 to 12 months to really capitalize on our momentum and fuel our future growth. You know, it took us 18 years to open our 100th store, and that was 2 weeks ago in a suburb of Indianapolis, our second store in Indy. And so excited to hit that milestone. We've got currently 4 stores open in Mexico, and all the rest are here domestically. Our challenge ahead is, now that we're at 100, is to get it 200. And our goal there is to be there no later than 2027. And we will then see, in our estimates, we will be a $1 billion organization. In that mix, we're going to expand internationally. We've got a unique global strategy that I'm going to talk to you about today, as well as our strategy with franchising here in the U.S. And if I could, I'd like to walk you through a little bit about who we are. Many of you have visited one of our 100 restaurants and enjoyed our Scratch Kitchen, excellent bar, and exemplary service. But for those of you that may not be that familiar with our concept, we call ourselves polished casual dining. We compare ourselves to competitors that are in the sports bar industry or market. And one of the things that really we put first and foremost in our brand is our Scratch Kitchen. It is a kitchen in which you're not going to find anything frozen back there. Maybe a couple fries, but other than that, a very robust menu items. And the other thing is our beer, frozen beer, 29-degree Fahrenheit frozen beer. And this differentiates us because our customers know we will be the coldest beer in town. There'll be 34 beers on tap. There'll be some local varieties, and they really enjoy knowing that they're going to have a refreshing, cool beer. And obviously, our Twin Peaks girls, we call them TPGs. And if I refer to TPGs in this call today, it's referring to our front of house service staff. Very highly trained, very motivated. 90% of the time, they are the highest paid waitresses in that 5-mile radius of that restaurant. And it's because they're out there servicing their guests and earning great tips, for themselves. As I move to this slide, you'll see what we call our secret sauce. What really sets us apart from other restaurant concepts in the casual dining or polished casual dining. And why are we 2 and 3 times more profitable than our competitive set? Number one is we realize that we're not just a great Scratch Kitchen, but we're a great bar. And it's a scratch bar. And what I mean by that is we're using fresh ingredients. We're using fresh sides. We've got very unique menus that all of our TPG bartenders use on a daily basis to really accelerate the experience. If you come into one of our bars, it's welcoming to anyone. You could get a $3 draft beer on special, or you could spend dollars on a very unique high-end cocktail with high-end bourbons and tequilas, etc. And just like we do that on the alcohol side, we do that on the food side. And you can come in and get something under $5 on our to-go orders, or you can, have a New York strip steak, bar food, smoked ribs. There's something on there for everyone. And while they're there, whether picking up to go or eating in our restaurant or just sitting down to have a beer, you're going to see the best TV system in the business. You're going to have on an average 50 to 60 TVs playing all sports all the time. Our goal is to have in every seat in the house a minimum of 3 to 4 different games or TVs that you can see at the same time. Now, this is the slide that we're super proud of this week. We opened our 100th restaurant, and we're not stopping there. We've got another 17 restaurants scheduled to open this year. And here it is, the middle of June. You'll see here our pipeline markets. And these are areas where we've already signed deals and have already started construction or the leasing program. And we anticipate, as I mentioned, 17 of these to open this year. Hopefully we can pull a few more in. International opportunity. We are unfortunately sold out in Mexico. For those of you that were interested in that market, we've signed a 32-store deal to develop all of Mexico. We have 4 open now. We'll open an additional 4 this year and kind of continue on that path moving forward. Some of the areas of interest that we've found this year, we've been to trade shows in Bangkok, Thailand, London, England. Obviously, shows here in the United States. And then I just got back last week from the International Franchise Show in New York. And that was a great show for us to really highlight our international strategy and where we're going. We know if we're going to double in store sale size in the next 2 to 3 years, that's going to have an international component. And our brand is being received very, very well around the world right now. So I'm very excited to talk to you next year about how we did on that international growth. This is a slide here domestically in the U.S. For those of you that, again, maybe aren't that familiar with our brand. The red areas and the numbers indicate open restaurants. And you'll see we've got a high concentration there in Texas, 'cause that's where we started, in Dallas. High concentration in Florida. The red states are indicating territories that have been sold out. They not necessarily have all of the stores open yet, but the development agreements have been signed and executed between us and our partners. The green states indicate negotiations that are going on for parts of those states. For instance, I'm not negotiating all of California. I'm currently negotiating in San Diego, LA, Northern California, San Jose. So you'll get a feel for where there's been some excitement. Last week, being up in New York in the Northeast, everyone said, well, you're not here yet. And I said, well, that's why we're at the show. There was a tremendous outpouring of support from people that stopped by and gave us feedback on what parts of the Northeast we should start in. And then the West Coast. Obviously, there's only one store out there in California, and a lot of opportunity for us. As you saw with all of that exciting expansion that we have going on here in the U.S., obviously, it's not just signing franchise deals, but getting them open. So you as the franchisee can start earning the big money that our AUVs are showing out there today, which we'll get into here in a little bit. But we've been doing this for quite some time. We've got a dedicated architect, design, project management team, purchasing group that will help you from soup to nuts, A to Z, all the way along to get your store open as soon as possible, because you want that cash register running. A typical site for us for our prototype, we're on our 4th generation of our prototype currently. And in order to generate the revenues, as you see in our franchise disclosure document of $5.8 million, that's our average per store. We need the square footage to do that, to fill the seats and the seats for people to sit on and order a beer and order a great meal. Our current prototype is 6,800 square feet covered up, and then an additional 1,800 square feet of covered patio with a secondary bar to help offset the demand on those busy UFC fights and big fight nights and big football games and soccer games when the restaurant's full. And one of the biggest things that we found in our looking for sites is making sure we have enough parking. We really need at least 150 parking spaces minimum in order to make sure we can get all the guests in that want to come in and maximize your revenue as a franchisee. We're typically in larger markets. Within a 5-mile radius, we'd like to see 150,000 in population. And then during the day, we'd also, about 35% of our day mix is lunch. And what we need to make sure we're in a good spot where there's a lot of industry and business. And again, I typically like to see about 125,000 daytime population. We look always as everyone else does. Who else is in the neighborhood? Who do we play well with? Who plays well with us? We've seen lately in a lot of our openings this year, we seem to be close to a Topgolf, which it's fun. People are, eating, drinking, having a good time. We also seem to do well with Cabela's and Bass Pro Shop and some other large retailers that we can get into those specifics. We know every community and neighborhood is different. Those are just some of our success stories here of late. How long does it take? Once we have that lease assigned, we jump right in, and we're going to do an analysis. We're going to of that specific region, of that town, of that municipality, just to make sure that we know everything that could go wrong before it does. Once you've built 100 of these, you've seen pretty much everything, and we're going to make sure that we make this as smooth as potentially possible for you as you're building your site. I talked to you about some of our prototypes. Those of you that are interested, and if you view this presentation, there's a link down here at the bottom left, and you can actually walk through. It's a 3D scan of one of our latest buildings that we built in Dallas, Texas. And you can actually walk through the actual building, see our actual employees, and really give you a good feel for what our prototype stands for. Again, this is Twin Peaks of the Future. As you saw earlier, again, we're always going to be true to our Mountain Lodge theme. We feel that theme has done very well all over the country and is getting great reception all over the world. It's taking yourself out of reality of maybe whatever city or state you're in and kind of transforming you to that mountain lodge where it's comfortable, fire pits, some tasteful taxidermy on the wall, etc. So that's just part of our DNA, and you can see that even as we evolve our prototypes into the future. As we were talking about Mexico earlier, we talked about the prototypes in the U.S. of, those are some big boxes. These are some of the locations that we have in Mexico. Some of them are about 2/3. Some are even half the size of our U.S. counterparts. But as we look to grow internationally, we realize that there are some real estate constraints in different parts of the world. And we have prototypes and we have the experience to, for instance, in Mexico, malls are still very prevalent. And we are seeing ourselves go into the right malls with the right parking and the right security. And those stores are performing extremely well for us. Now in the US, I'd say 70 to 75% of all of our stores are conversions. And when I say conversions, it's converting an existing Gen 2 restaurant or commercial space. We've done some commercial buildings and turned them into restaurants, but we and you as the franchisee looking to maximize your investment and get your ROI sooner, we look for sites that have an existing restaurant, Generation 2, already got a lot of the stuff in there that you would need with us. We've got, the hoods, we've got, the grease trap, we've got, parking, we've got ADA bathrooms. I mean, we really look to save as much money as we can with you. On average, and you'll see in our FDD, there's a range of how much it costs to, convert a restaurant into a Twin Peaks. And you'll see, that range could go anywhere from $1 to $4 million. We're typically seeing right now, because we're usually adding square footage to those units and to get it, the covered patio or to get additional seating, we're seeing on average about $2.5 million investment to convert to a Twin Peaks brand. Now, in terms of building from the dirt up, we're looking at, you'll see there's a range in the FDD, but we're right around 5 to 5.5 million is where we've fallen here post-COVID. And again, all of those numbers and statistics are in the FDD. So let's get to marketing. One of the most exciting things about our brand, we're always marketing something new, something fresh, an event. Obviously, it's not hard to market absolutely delicious, great food. Our scratch kitchen, everything made daily, all of our sauces, everything's prepared. If you haven't, please go to our website and view our menu. You'll click on the location nearest you. And even if you're up in New York, I get it, your nearest location is probably going to be Pittsburgh because that's what's going to open next week. But just click on the menu and you'll see there's a picture for every menu item in there. And you'll see the care that we've taken to putting that menu together. I talked earlier about the 29-degree draft beer. It's unique. It's iconic. It really sets us apart. And there is a method to the madness that when you come on as a franchisee, we will teach you. Sports. Who doesn't love sports? All over the United States, all over the world. Everyone's got their favorite team. And we'll have all those games on for you all the time for your guests to really help you. And then obviously, as we talked about our Twin Peaks girls, they are the front of the house staff. They go through an extensive training program. They've got a career path that will take them from hostess to floor to bartender to assistant manager to potential kitchen manager, all the way up into career pathing into our corporate office at our training support center. And it's an exciting place to work. And there's a lot of energy, a lot of excitement, And the girls, as I said earlier, really do maximize their income with Twin Peaks, but they have a lot of fun doing it. We talked about sports a lot. I'm not going to hammer on that anymore. But if the game's on TV somewhere, we can get it on for you. Promotionally, when it's not the big game and there's maybe in between seasons of football and basketball and hockey, sometimes baseball season might get a little stale. We'll have different parties and events to bring our regular customers in. As I talked about sports partnerships, we do a lot with UFC over on the right. And we're constantly driving promotions through all of our digital channels, Facebook, Instagram. There's a lot of TikTok on us out there, and obviously our own email and marketing systems. This is the last slide. I asked the team to put this together for us. It's not about what I say to you today, but it's about what everyone else is saying about us. And I think getting to 100 restaurants in this business is a big achievement. I think even bigger will be when we get to 200, when we launch our IPO here in the next 6 to 12 months. And now is the time, if you're interested in securing territory here in the U.S. to grow with us, or even look internationally, please, by all means, give Twin Peaks a consideration. I'd be happy to go more in depth with you on our franchise disclosure document and everything else that goes into making Twin Peaks Lodge one of the best in the industry. And it's not just what I say, it's what all of these other people have said about our brand. So I'd like to thank you for investing your time with me and our brand today. Here's some of my contact information. Feel free to call or reach out anytime. That there is my personal cell phone number, and I'll personally get back to you. Again, thank you for your time today. I hope you heard some things in there that got you excited and you wanted to investigate more, whether it's the IPO, whether it's the 11% same store sales growth this year over last, or our expansion plans. Please, by all means, reach out and I will get you all the information that you need. Thank you so much for investing your valuable time in hearing about the Twin Peaks brand today.